Good morning, family. Good to be here. Obviously, today's readings deal with humility. And I got a tough time preaching on humility because how great I am and how good looking I am. What can I say about humility, right? But all kidding aside, humility is tough. And humility is one of the things that I honestly pray for every single day. When I pray my morning office, at the end I pray for different people and different things. But one of the things that I pray for myself is for humility and to save me from the sin of pride and to give me humility. And I've been praying that prayer for years, literally years. Not too long ago, my wife and I took a trip to Lourdes and to Fatima. And just to make a long story short, when we got to Fatima, Father Dindo and Father Mario said, why don't you come with us and we're going to go tonight for the procession. So I said, okay. So we went and we got vested and everything, and they lead me out. And if you've ever been to Fatima, around the main altar, there's a little bit of an outer section that has seating. So all the priests went in there, and I followed. And I sit down, and I'm in that place of honor with the priests, and I'm thinking, I made it. This is all right, About 2 minutes later, one of the security people comes and says, Deacon, this is just for priests. You come with me. So I went to that lower place. And he sat me down, and it was off to the side, and I was there alone for a little bit, and then they brought a girl in. She was an altar server, and she was from Italy. Didn't know a word of English. The Italian I know, I'd have to go to confession for if I use those words. So we tried to communicate, and it wasn't all that good. So in my quiet time, I stared at the statue of Fatima, and I was very sincere in this prayer. And I said, Mother Mary, thank you. Thank you. You obviously have heard my prayer for humility. And I was feeling all so high and mighty sitting there with the priests and everything, and now I'm here. And I thank you for that because I really appreciated being humbled. And I meant that with all my heart. And I truly believe that Our Lady heard that because about 3 minutes before the procession, that same security guard came up to me and said, Deacon, you will be leading the Fatima procession tonight. What an honor. What an honor to lead the procession at Our Lady of Fatima. Thousands of people behind me and just walking and leading that procession. Boy, did I feel exalted. But at the same time, humble. At the same time, humble. Now, sometimes we think humility has to be, kind of putting ourselves down and not being proud of what we're doing and so forth. And recently I was on retreat with Father Jim Kubicki, who is of relevant radio fame. He does a daily broadcast. And he talked about humility on our retreat. And one of the things that sticks out in my mind is what he said. And this is really important, I think. He said, humility is not thinking less of yourself. Humility is thinking of yourself less. Humility is not thinking less of yourself. Humility is thinking of yourself less, which leads us to that very end of the gospel where Jesus is talking about invite the poor, invite the lame, invite the sinners. Stop thinking about yourself and repayment if you invite your brothers and your neighbors and so forth. Think less about yourself and more about the poor, more about the needy. That's a key, because that also helps us and keeps us humble. This week, I have a challenge for you, as I always do at the end of my homilies. And that challenge is to take a really good look inside and see if you are worried about yourself, or you can worry less about yourself and more about other people. Really take that to prayer. Because what a better world it would be if we start thinking about the other more and us a little bit less. Amen.